They were having dinner. A regular Tuesday. Pasta. A glass of wine. The kids were upstairs. And then his second phone rang. The one she didn't know existed. Claire and Marcus had been married for 9 years. By every measure that anyone could see, they were the couple people wanted to be. A house in a good neighborhood. 2 kids, 7 and 9. A shared mortgage they were ahead on. Date nights every other Friday. Marcus worked in logistics. Long hours, frequent travel, but always with a reason, always with a hotel receipt, always home by Sunday. Claire worked part-time as a dental hygienist. She trusted him completely. She trusted him the way you trust someone you have built your entire adult life around. They had just celebrated their 9th anniversary 3 weeks before that Tuesday dinner. He had booked a restaurant. Bought flowers. Written her a card that said, 9 years and I would choose you every single time. She kept the card on her dresser. She was still looking at it the morning she found out the truth. The second phone had been active for 26 months. 26 months of a parallel life. A second apartment. A second woman. A second name, not Marcus. On that phone, he went by Daniel. Claire didn't find the phone during dinner. He was quick. He silenced it, put it in his jacket pocket, finished his pasta. Said it was a work notification. She believed him. Why wouldn't she? She found it 3 days later. It had slipped between the cushions of his car seat when she borrowed the car to take the kids to school. She found it when she reached down to retrieve a dropped water bottle. A second phone. No passcode. Already unlocked. The messages took 4 minutes to read. 4 minutes to understand that the man who had written her that anniversary card had been living a second life since before their 8th wedding anniversary. The apartment was registered to a Daniel Reeves, a name she had never heard. The lease had been signed 14 months into their marriage. He had started planning before their 7th anniversary. This isn't a story about an affair. Affairs are impulsive. Emotional. Messy. This was engineered. A separate phone carrier. A separate bank account, $1,200 a month transferred to it for 26 months. A separate name. A woman who knew him as Daniel and had no idea Marcus existed. And the question that Claire couldn't stop asking, was he planning to disappear completely? Claire didn't call Marcus. She called her sister. Then she called a divorce attorney. The attorney told her to do 3 things before she said a word to him. First, photograph everything on the phone. Second, pull every joint bank statement for the past 2 years. Third, say nothing and act normally until the attorney gave the signal. Claire went home that night. Made dinner. Helped with homework. Watched television next to a man who was living 2 lives and believed, completely, that she had no idea. What the bank statements revealed over the next 4 days was worse than the phone. The $1,200 a month was just the beginning. There were hotel charges she had been told were client dinners. Jewelry purchases she had never seen. A car payment, a second car, registered to Daniel Reeves, parked in the second apartment's underground garage. Total diverted from their shared finances over 26 months, $87,400.
Marcus expected to come home one evening to a normal house. Instead, he came home to his attorney on speakerphone, a process server in his driveway, and a wife who had spent 4 days building a case that would take everything he thought he had hidden. He had planned his exit for 2 years. She dismantled it in 4 days. Claire's attorney filed 3 things simultaneously. Divorce petition. Emergency motion to freeze all joint assets. And a forensic accounting request because $87,000 diverted from a marital estate during the marriage is not just infidelity. In most jurisdictions it is dissipation of marital assets and courts treat it as fraud. The second woman, the one who knew him as Daniel, was contacted by Claire's attorney's office. She had no idea. She had been dating him for 2 years, believed he was a traveling consultant, had been told he was saving for them to buy a property together. When she learned the truth, she ended all contact within the hour. The court proceedings took 7 months. During that time, Marcus retained his own attorney and attempted to argue that the money diverted had been used for legitimate business expenses. His attorney later told him, privately, that the judge was not going to believe that. The final settlement, Marcus was ordered to return the full $87,400 to the marital estate which Claire received as part of the asset division. She retained the family home. He received his half of the equity minus the penalty. His attorney fees were $34,000. The exit plan cost him more than staying ever would have.
But here is the part of this story that gets overlooked. The second woman, the one he called his future, she never knew she was part of a plan. She thought she was in a real relationship. She had turned down other people for him. She had been waiting for him to be ready to move forward. 2 women. 1 man. 2 different lies. And only one of them saw it coming.
Claire spoke to a journalist 18 months after the settlement. She said this: "I spent 3 weeks wondering what I missed. What sign I ignored. And then I stopped. Because I didn't miss anything. He was good at it. He had been doing it on purpose. There is nothing wrong with trusting the person you built your life with." She also said this, and it's the thing I keep thinking about: the anniversary card was the most honest thing he ever wrote me. He would have chosen me. He just also chose to choose someone else at the same time. And when it stopped being convenient, he was going to choose the exit. The kids are 10 and 12 now. They live with Claire. Marcus has scheduled visitation. She kept the house. She kept the kids. She kept the savings. And she kept the card not on her dresser anymore. Somewhere she can't see it unless she goes looking. Claire's attorney said something after the case closed that I want to leave you with. She said the secret exit plan, the second phone, the second name, the hidden money is more common than people realize. And there are 4 things she tells people to watch for. 1. Unexplained regular cash withdrawals, especially in amounts that seem deliberate and consistent. 2. A second phone, or a phone you are never allowed to touch even casually. 3. A name they use online or professionally that you have never heard them use in person. 4. A sense that they are not building towards something with you, that every future plan is vague, postponed, or entirely yours to carry. Next week, a woman who discovered her husband had taken out a $200,000 life insurance policy on her 18 months before he filed for divorce. That story drops Monday. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Because some exits are planned. And some of them are planned around you.